Hey everybody, what are we doing today? We are opening comic proofs and talking about my video plan in the lead up to my third comic, DvsM 1979. Now, first off, a disclaimer. DvsM 1979 is a ways off. I'm very early in the process right now. I'm doing thumbnails. More on that later. The script is written, doing thumbnails. After thumbnails comes panels, like figuring out what the panels will be. After panels comes page planning. After page planning comes reference photography. And after that comes drawing. And it's page a week, the drawing rate. So right now, my best estimate, I'll have a better estimate in a few weeks, but my best estimate is that DvsM 1979 will be purchasable sometime late next year, okay? But I'm really going to be pushing hard for 2022. That's my stated goal. We'll see if the universe interferes, but that's the plan. But first, if you've been following my Instagram, you know that I've been working on the limited pulp edition of DvsM 1997, the second comic in the DvsM series. Well, I placed the order. I spent a lot of time making the variant cover, placed the order, requested a proof, and now I have it in my hot little hands. And I figured, what the hell? Let's just open it on camera and we can talk about it. You can see what it is that's going to be in the store soon, in case you're interested. Let's see here. I have not, obviously I'm opening this, I have not looked at it yet. I'm hoping it's perfect. I'm very happy with Comics Wellspring, all the work they've done for me in the past. So if it's not perfect, I would say it's 99% likely my fault, but we'll see. So get the box here. Okay, coming in here, let's see. Cellophane, so far that looks pretty good. I haven't looked very close yet, but let's get this plastic off. Very cool. Let's see here. I'm going to try and get minimum shine here. Let's see here. How close will my camera? I spent a lot of time working on that kid's face. More time than I'd care to admit. Back has some distressing too. Yeah, this looks great. I love their print quality. It's so good. Their blacks are really good. So the only thing that I might tweak on this, again, not their fault. Do you see, and this is like a cropping thing. So the distress here is, I like this, but at the top and the bottom, I probably wasn't aggressive enough. I didn't go in enough. I would want it to be similar to this. So I'll probably go into my cover art file and pull the distressing down just a little bit so it's more consistent along these edges. But other than that, I think it looks great. I think it turned out, like, I think the art, you know, you're most worried, like, is this going to look right? And I think it looks right. I like it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to tweak that cover. I'm going to resubmit the art file. And I'm going to tell them you don't have to send me another proof. Just use this new art file that I've tweaked and go to print. Sometime before the end of the month, I'll put this on sale. If you follow my Instagram, you already know this. There's only going to be 35 buyable, purchasable copies of this. Ever, forever, and ever. Once it's sold out, it's gone for good. You might see this art, like I might do a print or something, but you will never see this edition of the comic ever again. After this sells out, it's going to go back to either the original cover or what I've been working on. I'm playing with the idea of just a gussied up version of the original covers, which will look basically the same. Like if you don't look too closely at it, it'll look very much like the very graphic white, red, and black that I use on the covers. But I've been wanting to go in and maybe just do little spit polishes and make it just a little cleaner, a little more close to my vision of what I wanted the covers to look like. But blah, 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 that's neither here nor there. This will be gone for good. So, end of September, I'm going to throw up a link. It'll be on the Etsy shop. I don't know when I'll be able to fulfill it. It'll depend on when, like after I approve this, how long it takes them to print them and get them to me. Could be immediately, could be a couple weeks, something like that. That's the first thing I want to talk about today. This is great. I'm happy with this. I'm very happy with this. Okay. What else did I want to talk about today? Oh, actually, I need this one more time. I want to talk about this distressing. A few people asked me about this kind of aged distress effect I do on the pulp covers. And enough people were curious that I thought I have no problem showing my process, like how I do it. So the first video you're going to see in what I'm calling my season 3 of videos, season 1 being all the videos related to DvsM 1975, season 2 being all the videos related to DvsM 1997. Now we're into season 3, which will be all the videos that will ultimately have to do with the DvsM 1979 era of my indie comic career, journey. Is that too flowery to call it a journey? Let's just call it a journey. Who cares? That's the plan. First video, after this one, will be how to make your own weathered distress cover effect using Photoshop and a couple bucks in expenses. It'll be fun, it'll be short, just a little tutorial in case you're curious about how to do this. That's a video coming soon. Another video coming soon will be on thumbnails right here. This messy stack. This is me going through my script and making thumbnails for people who aren't familiar, who haven't watched my previous videos, who've never made a comic before, who don't know what a thumbnail is. Chicken scratchy, stick figurey, little like, I think a panel will look something like this, something like this. Very crude. The worst drawings you'll ever do, because it's not about it being cool. I was just telling someone the other day, I was telling Frank Salazar, if your thumbnails look nice, you're doing it wrong. They should look like garbage. You should be embarrassed to show them to anybody unless you're qualifying. It's just a thumbnail, just a sketch, just a stick figure. Just kind of saying like something like this. Guy here, and there's a fire, whatever. I'm going to do a little video about how that's coming together for DvsM 1979. Finally, and this will be the biggest change this time, I've gotten a lot of feedback over the years, ever since I started this whole comic journey. We're calling it a journey. People like my content, they like my videos, they like my comics, they like, me babbling at camera, which is hard for me to wrap my brain around, but okay, I'll take it. The complaint that I've gotten time and time again is that I have a little bit of this weird, like Moses on Mount Sinai method of public relations, where I go up the mountain, I work on a comic in solitude for like a year or a year and a half. No one hears from me. They barely see me. And then when I finally have the comic done, I come off the mountain and I do a bunch of videos and I'm everywhere and I'm promoting, I'm making videos, I'm appearing on people's videos, I'm hawking people, I'm out there, I'm exposed, I'm interacting. And then I go back up the mountain to work on another comic and disappear again for a year. People have given me the message. It would be nice if not only were you present more consistently without those big gaps, but let us in on the process as you're doing it, not after the fact. I've been reluctant to do that for the first 2 comics for all sorts of reasons. Sometimes I intended to do that and just like, no, I'm not going to. I'm going to really, really, really cross my fingers, cross my heart, promise, try to do it this time. Maybe even better than try. I'm thinking of Yoda in my head right now. Do or do not. I'm going to do it. I'm going to be more visible, more present, more open this time with DvsM 1979 than I have in the past, which is why I'm talking to you probably a year before DvsM 1979 will even be available. I'm letting you know that this is my called shot. This is my stated intention. Hold me accountable. Okay? How to do a distress effect? Doing the thumbnails for DvsM 1979. And then what I'm also going to do, because there's going to be weeks where I just don't have a video's worth of content. I don't have anything to talk about, especially once I get to drawing. It's just going to be like, well, I'm drawing again this week. Like, there's not a lot to talk about. So what I'm also going to start doing is something that I've seen my friend Josh Kemble do, which I think I can manage something like that. Just sort of vlogging. Maybe about once a week. I haven't decided on the day yet. We'll figure that out. But there'll be some evening probably where I will just turn on the webcam while I'm working. And it's just going to be bullshitting, man. It's not going to be scripted. I might have a topic in mind. You never know. Like, I might turn it on and say, like, hey, I want to talk about this tonight. And I'll just talk while I'm working. Sometimes I might have someone on. I'll open the chat if people want to pop in and chat. Like, we can do that. Sometimes I might not be chatting. Sometimes I might have like a sort of a topic I just want to sit and not rant about. Maybe sometimes it will be a rant, but sometimes it's just like, I was thinking about this today, and I'll just sort of be free associating. And then when I feel like I've said everything I want to say, I'll just shut the camera off. I think the main thing you're going to see for this season 3 of videos is they're going to be far less structured, and as a result, far less polished. Not as many edits, not as many like text overlays, not as many cuts, etc., etc. Mostly because if I'm going to do this while I'm working, I need to make it as effortless for myself as possible. What has dissuaded me from this in the past, even though both times I thought, like, maybe I'll video while I'm working, is, you know what, I'm barely keeping my head above water just doing the comic. And the comic is the most important thing. If I'm distracted also editing videos, I can't do it. I just can't do it. Something has to give, so the videos are going to give. I'll do the videos when the comic is done. If I'm going to do videos while I'm working on the comic, they need to be low effort. Now, hopefully, no one will mind. Hopefully it won't make much of a difference to anybody. And if it does, if you prefer videos that are a little more polished, a little more finished, well, there's 8 million videos for DvsM 1975 and DvsM 1997. But if you just kind of want to hear from me and hear how the comic is coming and see what's going on, well, then season 3 should be fine for you. Okay? So, I'm going to get to work on revising this cover art so I can get this order going. And then I'll start putting the finishing touches on the distressed cover tutorial, which I would hope to get out about a week after this one. You're never going to see more than a video a week from me. I think that's a very conservative, let's just say a video a week. Let's try with that. Let's start with that. Let's see how that goes. How are you all doing? Are you holding up? COVID is the gift that just keeps on giving, right? I still have the hair. I expected to have it cut by now. Originally, I wasn't getting it cut because I didn't feel comfortable going and sitting in a salon or barbershop or wherever. Now I'm vaccinated, I'm more comfortable. But now I'm pushing for donation length. I want to get it to a point where not only do I have enough to donate, which it seems like they like 10 to 12 inches. So I'm trying, and I'm probably almost there. I don't know. I haven't measured it, but I'm probably almost there. So I want to get there, but then I also want and change, because I'm not a short hair, like a buzz cut guy. I need it long enough where I can donate a foot and still have hair to be shaggy. You know what I mean? Is that interesting to anybody? Probably not. This is the kind of exciting content you can expect in Season 3 of Gary Hodges' YouTube channel. It's good to talk to you. Look forward to more videos. I'm looking forward to making them. And I hope you're excited to see DvsM 1979 next year. I'm very happy with the script. I'm very happy with how it's coming together. I'm actually enjoying this process, I think, more than the previous two. I think with 75, it was just, I'd never made a comic before. And it was just a shot in the dark. Let's just see what happens. And I was just racked with doubt every step of the way. I didn't even know if I would finish. And I didn't even know once I finished if I would have anything worth reading. And it turned out. With 97, I wanted to raise the bar. And, you know, it's like, well, now I've shown I can make a comic. Now I really want to try. I want it to be better. I want it to be bigger and better drawn and better written and bigger and better in every way. Kind of set a goal for myself and ended up being a little bit of a grind. It felt hard. It felt, I was kind of drained. I was stressed. I felt pressure on myself to just get this right. So it was a little exhausting, and I can't say, even though I'm thrilled with how 97 turned out, I can't say I enjoyed the process. I hope I can hold on to this, but now I feel like I know this whole process of making a comic well enough to actually embrace and enjoy the process. I think it took me to where now I think, all right, now I just want to enjoy this. I want to enjoy the process of being a creative. I want to enjoy every step. I want to just take pleasure in this, because that's ultimately what it should be about. And so far, so good. I'm happy with the script. I'm happy with the ideas I have in it. I am so far happy with how it's coming together in the thumbnails. I'm excited to start drawing some of it already. Like when I'm thumbnailing and picturing what I think the panel will be, I'm excited, or what a page will look like, or what a 2-page spread will look like. I'm excited for people to see this, because while it builds on what comes before, while 79 is definitely a continuation of themes and ideas and a tone in 75 and 97, it also, like 97 did for 75, opens the world up, shows you more, explores more, introduces you to characters like you haven't quite seen in a DvsM yet, introduces you to ideas that we haven't really explored in a DvsM yet, and also, it should go without saying, shows you some weird, scary, gross, horrific, fun, sci-fi horror nonsense. Also in a way that you haven't seen so far in DvsM. I feel good about it. I feel like it's a worthy third part of a 6-part story. And I wish somehow I could hit fast forward on my process. I can't. I wish I could get it done sooner than next year. There's just not enough time in the day. If one of you wants to send me a bunch of money where I can just quit my job and work on DvsM full-time, I'd happily accept. In lieu of that not being the case, it's going to be next year, late next year. But it's going to be worth the wait, I promise. Hope you're all doing well. I will talk to you later. Bye.